rock that beat.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just keep this video short and straight to the point. Not a whole lot happened in this episode besides what you obviously thought was gonna happen in this episode. Deku gets into, the work study thing with Nighteye, and then a couple of other students at the dorms also start talking about what they're gonna do for their work studies, and then a couple of them actually get an opportunity to go to where they possibly wanted to go because of stuff that happens in the episode. And the episode ends off, and the preview shows that the next week's episode is going to be definitely very interesting, probably really sad as fuck, so we're going to have to wait until that comes out as soon as possible. Considering how this episode pretty much was, though, I'm already wanting it. I kind of already said that for a couple weeks now with My Hero Academia, but people keep on saying, like, oh, the arc is going to be dark, it's going to be depressing, it's going to be this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 and I'm just kind of like, yeah, well, can it get straight to the point already? It kind of feels like it's all trying to set up for the eventual arc that it's gonna get to, but it's kind of like I already wanted to just do that and then get straight to the point, because in the episode what happens is that Nighteye, he already knows about One for All and how it works, and that he's able to transfer over to other people, right? He starts talking to Deku, Mito, and that other girl. Bubble Girl was her name. They're out of the room. He starts talking to him, and he starts talking to him about how he thinks that there was someone better to inherit One for All. And the whole point of that is to get into his head so that way he can, do this and that and whatever. And Nighteye actually has a very interesting quirk, I want to point out, because it's very situational, I feel like. Because the way that it works is that he has to make hand contact with them and look at them in the eyes, which, that's not very hard to do, but if you're in like a combat situation, what are you really going to be able to do to try to make hand-to-hand contact with someone when the whole point of it is to not get touched at all? Just, it seems very situational, but it's still really cool because if that does happen, he's able to essentially see into the person's future. And at first I was really confused with how it worked. Like, is he able to just predict someone else's future move, or is he actually able to see into someone else's future? And no, he's able to see into people's futures because, well, of stuff that happens in the previews that we're not going to get into until next week's episode comes out. But yeah, it was still pretty cool. There was a little bit of action. The action looked really good. And then, like I said, end of the day, Midoriya Deku ends up getting into that work study. So even though he was saying, like, if he doesn't stamp the paper, the document or whatever himself, then he's not gonna be able to get in. Or he essentially says that. So when it's revealed that he actually is gonna get in, he's accepted into the work study, he's actually very surprised, of course, because of what happened in the scene, and still is pretty surprised by it and is still wondering what he means by there's someone else that he feels like deserves it, because he doesn't know that he's probably talking about Mito, or he actually does say that in the episode, because All Might thought about choosing him. Nighteye thought All Might should have chosen him in the first place, and then no, All Might went ahead and chose Deku, and that's just how it's been for the past couple seasons already. So yeah, that's just how it is. That's just how the cookie crumbles, I guess. We see the other cast members at the dorms, and Kirishima, Asui, and Uraraka are saying that they couldn't get into the specific work studies that they wanted to get into, but they couldn't. And then so the other two members of the big three, the group that Miro is a part of, they request for the three of them all, respectively, of course, for whoever asked for whoever, and they're gonna get into whatever possible work studies they're gonna get into. Tokuyami was actually requested to join along with a work agent, or a work study, excuse me, and with Hawks, I believe his name was. I'm not entirely sure. I don't really remember. I believe that's what it was, because I remember seeing his name around a couple times and on Twitter and stuff. So that's probably him. And that's just kind of how the episode ends. The episode ends with Miro, Deku, and the bubble girl lady, they're gonna have to go and look for that overhaul guy that was in the previous episode, because they think that he's gonna be a part of some big master plan, but they don't have any evidence to really treat him as a villain yet, because he's a part of a yakuza, and the yakuza or anyone who's a part of a yakuza is kind of treated as like underground like crime, and they're not really seen as villains, but they need to find evidence in order to prove that he's doing villain-esque things. And from the previews, it seems like we're gonna get a hint of that, but not exactly, because of reasons that you'll probably be seeing in certain screenshots in the video, but whatever. So that's kind of the episode. It was more of a setup than anything, and things are gonna get a lot more interesting, I feel like, next week, and I'm very excited for it, because us as the viewer already know that All Might was hiding something from Deku, but in the previews it shows that it's finally going to be revealed to him, and it's going to be definitely very interesting to see what his reaction to that is going to be like, and I'm pretty excited for that, to be completely honest. So without dragging on the video any longer than it needs to, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. If you did enjoy it for whatever reason, be sure to leave a like. If you aren't, subscribe for videos just like this. I'm going to try to get another video out later today as well. I want to try to get 2 videos out today, because I was planning on not uploading today, because I didn't upload yesterday. I didn't feel like uploading today because of situations in my real life, but it looks like I might be able to do that, so I'll try to do that as soon as possible. If not, you'll get the other video tomorrow. So anyways, I'll see you guys next one. Have a fantastic day. I'm out. Peace.